So let's dive back into the lie. It's simple, but it's not easy. Can you believe that? It's simple, but it's not easy. That's a bold-faced lie. So that's also what Art, a pretty famous old fella who sat within spitting distance of Neville and may have even known him. I don't know. I haven't listened to the guy. But I listen to what people who listen to him say, and I'm not pleased. So my question is, when someone with authority, somebody speaking with authority says it's simple but not easy, right? Why would you believe that? There's only one reason why you would believe that. It's called proof. That's my experience. I've been doing this for a long time, and my experience is it's simple but not easy. That's called proof. So I ask, when is it hard? I do this all the time. So when I do a one-on-one, I help people notice what they've been missing. When is it hard? When is it hard? Because it's not always hard for you. And you're probably not celebrating the wins that you have that are easy. And you're probably criticizing yourself or defending a stance. Yeah, Mr. 20, it's hard. That's my story. So I gave myself a hard time getting a new car. I couldn't decide what kind of car, Mercedes or BMW. And eventually I decided on Mercedes. And then I tried to figure out what kind of Mercedes. And every Mercedes has a number. There's W209, C209s, A209s. There's a lot of others, but all I know is the number 209. And there's a lot of different, mine is technically a CLK320. That's another number applied to the same car, right? And then there's just so many cars and so many engines and so many years and blah, blah, blah. So I was trying to figure out what kind of car to get and like Mercedes or BMW. I chose Mercedes. In other words, I got lost in the world of the mental, trying to figure something out, trying to figure out where to buy it and who to buy it from. Until one day, I told Victoria something very simple. I was feeling from having had bought a car from a local dealer or someone who I know, love, and trust. And there are no local dealers. So I got to buy a car from someone who I know, love, and trust. And so I drive to the leisure center. And maybe you've heard this story, but I want you to hear it differently. I passed 2 open parking spaces. I took the third, pretty far from the building, and I got out and I walked past a lovely silver Mercedes. And I could feel myself instantly into that. Oh, that mentation was dissolved to dust. And I could see rightly me in that car. I didn't see my body. I experienced the ownership of a car like that. And the experience of looking out through the windshield and touching and smelling and so on and so forth. Let's call that Jesus Christ just for fun. Because Jesus Christ, the name of Jesus, contains the fire that consumes and the eye that sees rightly. And all that mentation was dissolved to dust by the fire that consumes. And so I fully experienced what I experienced. In other words, I came to rest, the Sabbath. So I'm in the pool and my buddy Jim says, hey, I just put two issues of the Mercedes magazine next to your bag. Have you bought a Mercedes yet? And I said, no, I'm still looking, Jim. Well, another buddy of mine hears me say that. And he asked me about 6 minutes later, are you looking to buy? Are you looking to buy a Mercedes? I said, yeah, are you looking to sell? He goes, I am. And we did a handshake deal on the price, on the car. And I didn't even know the color of the car he was selling. I didn't know the kind of car he was selling. All I know is I love this guy. And so he said, you want to see the car? I said, yeah. So we went outside and we saw the car. And it was that very car. And I bought it. That was 77 minutes after I fell in love, feeling myself in that car. Now here's the thing. I was making it hard. I was mentating. And until you can celebrate noticing, I'm mentating instead of imagining. And that gets you nowhere. That makes it about the car versus about the you. This is all about identity-based manifesting. Meanwhile, we've found 17 different ways that people do this. That's one of them. And when I can help someone notice what they do, they will notice when they do it. And so we go back to the two questions. Why would you believe that guy? Why would you believe someone that says it's simple but not easy? So I want to know, when do you make it not easy? Because if you can notice when you make it not easy, you just might notice how you make it hard. And I'm really good at that. So if you want some help, I'm here. If you want to figure it out on your own, you can do that too. So, don't buy the lie. Buy the pearl. Tomorrow we're going to go into raising imagination to the level of vision. Because my name is Mr. 2020, and you've been listening to and watching the Power of Imagination podcast. Let us go into the silence. God, I hope you could hear that. Right when we went into the silence, the birds sang their sacred song of thanksgiving. In other words, I call it ownership. And when I fell in love in that car, without even being in that car, when I experienced the ownership, me as a happy loving car owner, a Mercedes man, 77 minutes later, and I was making it hard. And we all can make it hard. Or we can all let it be easy. Have a great day. See ya.